Good evening and welcome back. Oxford University launches new scholarship for black students only 2 years after snubbing Grime star Stormzy's offer to fund a similar scheme. Is the latter bit relevant? No, not really, except later on when they say that they seem to be a bit slow off the mark and should have taken on this opportunity earlier on. However, it is slightly different, as we will go on to in more detail, that under British law you are not allowed to discriminate based on race, gender or religion. And there are some other protected characteristics that we needn't go into at the moment. But if a private individual were to do such a thing, then of course they are entitled to do so, as long as it can't be proven that it is based on those protected characteristics. But good luck when it comes to ideas. If an institution were to do it, especially if there's governmental funding, which means it's taxpayer funding, which means you and I are paying for it right now, then yes, the bar for unreasonable doubt is significantly lower, because we need to be far more concerned with where our money is going. It is not a charitable or foolish individual wishing to put their money wherever they wish to do so, and they're more entitled to do so, whether it be wasting their money on drugs, alcohol, gambling, or scholarships for black people. They're more than entitled to do so. But when it comes to wasting our money with these endeavours, then they better be held accountable. So as they go on to say, sorry, it's so difficult to even say. Black Academic Futures Programme will provide up to 10 new scholarships. I didn't think black was okay. Isn't it people of colour? Or have we changed that again now? Can't keep up. Stormzy offered to pay for 2 young black teenagers to attend Oxford in 2018. However, the rapper claimed that the university did not want to get involved, and the bosses denied this, but later said it took responsibility for missing the opportunity. So you might have thought, hey, there's hope. There is hope for Oxford University, being the second oldest university in the world, to say, no, we do not accept discriminating on race. We have a far more important and illustrious history of which we wish to rely on than just bringing it down to base characteristics of skin colour. But you would have been wrong and sorely mistaken that no, they do not think that. They do not think it is such an important thing worth protecting. But instead, under current management, then yes, it does just come down to the whims of the modern day vocal minority of supporting the blacks in this case. So Oxford University has launched a scholarship scheme exclusively for black students. The Black Academic Futures Programme will provide up to 10 new scholarships to UK research students starting studies next year. University bosses admit that black UK graduate students are particularly underrepresented at Oxford. What does that mean? Making up a proportion of around 1.5% of all postgraduate students, compared with 4% across all universities. Well, they like to use the 2011 census when it comes to violent crime, so how about we use it when it comes to this as well, which means it's 3% of the population. That's it. So if there's 4%, then they're overrepresented. If it's 1.5%, then apparently they would be underrepresented when it comes to the rest of the population. In which case, you've also got to think, well, hey, are there any others? Maybe we can narrow it down based on, what should we go with? How about if it's sexual interest? How about if it's trans or not? So if you agree with your sex. How about if we go with male or female? Things like that. And if we do decide to go down the male-female route, then we'll see that more women are going to university and graduating than men, as in they are overrepresented, and they are therefore out-earning their male counterparts by about £1,000 a year. When it comes to the under 30s, women are out-earning men, and then there's a drop-off after that, basically because women want to stay home with their families and men support that decision of women not wanting to work, and therefore women don't have to work. But nonetheless, when both decide that they do want to work, women get more opportunities, in which case they are out-earning men, and they're getting more placements here as well. In which case, you might be thinking, well, maybe there should be a position then for men to get these scholarships. But Marty Yiannopoulos tried this with the Male Privilege Grant Fund, and wasn't able to get anywhere because nobody would accept this, and the law wouldn't allow it because, of course, it's discriminating based on sex and favouring men. That's the important bit. So although the law is you can't discriminate based on sex, you can if it's favouring women, and you can't if it's favouring men. And because he wanted white males, then it's even worse because you can't discriminate based on race if it's white. So if you're discriminating based on sex and race because they're white men, then you've got no chance whatsoever. Because bloody hell, they're the most hated characteristics, even if they're underrepresented when it comes to the rest of the population. You're not allowed to do that because apparently we're overruling everybody else. Those straight white men over there are clearly bad, and therefore every other straight white man must suffer for it as well. We can't tell you why, except we believe that in the hive mind and that people of a particular race or gender think alike, and therefore they should be held accountable for everybody else's actions because they must feel the same. Well, it goes on to say that the university said its Black Academic Future Scholarship aims to rapidly increase applications from and funded places for well-qualified black students in the UK. Good, well-qualified students in the UK. Fantastic. Stop being racist. Which it says reinforced its commitment to addressing race equality and combating discrimination. And as always, and I know it's such a simple point to make, but let's say we had a university, let's say some other, like Leeds, not that they would, but anyway, saying, so Leeds said its White Academic Future Scholarship aims to rapidly increase applications from and fund places for well-qualified white students in the UK, which says it reinforced its commitment to addressing race equality and combating discrimination. That wouldn't get very far, would it? No, it'd be shut down by the government immediately. So why the fuck is this Conservative government, which is supposed to be against critical race theory, quietly in the back rooms, not targeting Oxford as well? And you might say, oh, it's a private institution, it's fine. Well, no, if they're accepting government loans, which means that it's paid by the rest of the taxpayers, given that 52% will make some contribution back to their student loans, but only 17% of the students will actually pay it off in full, given that you have to average a 10% income in order to be able to pay it off in full, then no. This just isn't going to happen because we're paying for it. And it's not as if the teachers are going to say, or the professors are going to say, cool, we'll take you on now, and then we'll take a proportion of your income over the next 30 years. No, they're saying, well, we want to get paid now. In which case, it's the rest of us taxpayers who are fitting the bill. And I, for one, do not agree with what they're trying to put in. But, closing up, there has been a rise in the number of black, Asian, minority ethnic applicants and those receiving offers in the last 5 years, with admission up from 14.5% in 2015 to 22.1% last year. A fifth. Is that representative? What does that even mean anymore? They're just going to use these buzzwords when it's in their favour, and when it isn't, they're not going to give a shit, because hey, they're in power now. Nikita Ma, which is all you need to know, president of the Oxford University Students' Union, said, access and diversity has always been one of the key themes of the student union's lobbying work. Lobbying means bribing, essentially. Just read it as bribing. It is very encouraging to see the university taking steps to widen access, and we are pleased to welcome this initiative to increase black representation at the graduate level. If they are able to compete on that level, then you do not need to bring in somebody of a particular race. If they are not able to compete on that level, and therefore you're bringing them into a place that they don't deserve, not only are you shortchanging somebody who is actually deserving of that place, but also you're then putting unnecessary stress on the token black person that you've brought in order to make yourself feel good. They will not be able to keep up and they will be dropping out. Not only then fucking over their life because they've missed out on a university placement that would be more beneficial for them, but also you're fucking over somebody else's life who should have got that placement in the first place. So you're ruining two people's lives just to make yourself feel a little bit better. You can go fuck yourself. This is not about your feelings. This is actually about the individuals that you are affecting that you do not give a shit about because centralised government never works. Finally, Oxford University and representatives for Stormzy have been approached for further comment. Why would you include Stormzy in this? There's no point. He's gone to Cambridge already for the scholarships. They accepted it. Job done. Case closed. But as always, let me know what you guys think down below. If you think, well, hey, they can support whoever they want, and that they can discriminate based on race because we're libertarians, in which case you can make whatever shit decisions you want to, even if you're racist or sexist. That's up to you. We just will decide to not patronize your business. If you wish to throw away an 800-year-old institution, then you're more than welcome to do that. And, of course, it's the students who are taking out the government-backed loans, not the universities, in which case the universities can do whatever they want because it's still down to the individual choice to choose which university they wish to go to. And it's just a matter of time before Oxford goes down the shitter for not actually being a very well-renowned university anymore by throwing away the reputation that took so many centuries to build up. Or if you think, no, this is a bit much, trying to just lay low as a libertarian without enforcing libertarian values, the irony isn't lost on me, is not actually a way in which we're going to win this fight, in which case we've got to be more determined and steadfast in our resolve in order to ensure that this does not get away from us. Either way, let me know down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, until next time, have a good one.